Hello everybody, it's JAnitor here with the Q&A clean down that I threw up on Facebook asking questions for. Left it up for about 24 hours or something to see what I could have got, and just going to fire it out there just now. Thanks to you all for giving me some really good questions, some really silly questions, some really bad questions. Just give me questions, I'm going to get through them all, and it's going to take a wee while, so please sit back, relax, and hopefully you'll enjoy this video. You probably won't, because I'm just going to spoil a lot of crap anyway. First off, Breslin wrote, what do you think of what you've seen so far with Skullgirls? Skullgirls, right, for those of you that don't know, Skullgirls is it's going to be the Xbox Live fighting game that's coming out. It's you know, really a sort of community project. They've taken the game to a lot of community events, so there is a lot of footage up there of the games in various builds, and it's got one of the best Boys players, plays Tiger, the crazy way Mike Z, one of the people that was driving force behind it. But things I've seen of it so far, I quite like the look of it. It seems like a cross between Boys and Marvel right now, because you can, you know, you've got teams, you've got assists, but you've got other cool options, and it's air dash as well, and it's really looks really combo heavy. But what I've looked, and it's doing an art style as well, a cartoony drawn art style, which gives it Boys, although it's not really, you know, an anime art style. It looks more like well, some of the characters definitely adopt different anime styles, but it looks more like an American cartoon. Definitely an anime-inspired American cartoon, like sort of the American cartoons you might see on TV now or in the past sort of 5 to 10 years, you know, sort of thing. What I've seen from it as well, things I've liked, the block, what is it, the high-low basic guard. Basically, there's no unblockables. The game will detect when you try to do an unblockable. Throw up a cross on the character. Basically, it says that you get a free block there if you try an unblockable. Unless of course the first part of it hits, I guess. But if you're actually blocking it, or if you're blocking the high or the low, it will count as a block. Other things as well, the infinite detector. Really, that's a cool thing as well. I think they're really wanting to try and, you know, stop some things that people really moan about in these sort of the fighting games. You know, people moan about the sorry, I'm just rambling on here. People moan about, you know, infinites. People moan about unblockables, things like that. And I reckon that's a good idea, just to get them out there. The lack of a comeback mechanic, I know quite a lot of guys were asking questions about that, so I'll just amalgamate all the Skullgirls questions in there. I think it's quite good that they've got rid of, you know, the comeback mechanics. While playing it though, I reckon players like me will be exposed for the frauds that we are, you know, that need those comeback mechanics to pull off victories. To be honest, like, it's a good idea to take them out, you know, like, because it's less artificial comebacks. You know, you've come back from the brink in a comeback in this game if you've earned it. You know, unlike Super Street Fighter 4, where a comeback can be earned with, for Ryu, a comeback can be earned with a DP in a Ultra, which does a lot of damage, and it's not entirely a skillful comeback. You just have to land that one DP, and if it's anti-air, just do the Ultra. If it's FADC and Ultra, so really it's not so much a comeback. Same with Marvel, with, you know, X Factor, especially in vanilla, boosting character stats really insanely was one thing that caused a lot of comebacks. But I don't know, Marvel comebacks were kind of a bit difficult. When you're down 3-1, you're still down 3 characters, and you've got to take them all down in quick succession for the level 3 X Factor comeback. Not to say that was a rare occurrence, that wasn't a rare occurrence, but, you know, it's a little bit more skillful when you factor in that sort of stuff. You've got no assists in that. But Street Fighter 4, well, some characters have it. I'm not one to throw out the odd, you know, random Ultra with DJ, mainly because, you know, EX machine gun upper and dash Ultra 2, something that's still beyond me. Really, I should call myself a DJ player for, you know, not being able to do that, but I'll settle with Super and the Ultra 1. So anyway, I really like the look of Skullgirls. The art style really appeals to me, you know. There's some, even though it's an all-female cast, it's usually one thing that turns me off to, you know, games like Arcane Art and stuff. You know, it's just not like, I don't want to be, you know, sound like, you know, one of these people that just writes off, but it's really just not an art style or anything that really appeals to me. I know quite a lot of guys out there like it, and I get that, you know, it's all down to preference, you know. Like, I would absolutely, like, you know, Slam Masters is a fighting game that people would probably avoid because it's all based on wrestling, but, you know, I would eat that shit up. But you know, I like the art style, and you know the characters like one of them Peacock. No, not Peacock. I can't remember the names of the characters. One's really a throwback to sort of, you know, really early Disney cartoons. It looks sort of like, you know, the Steamboat Willie style Mickey Mouse old cartoons, and that's just a really cool twist. I really like that. You know, I do like what I've seen from Skullgirls. Hopefully we'll get our hands on it soon, and I'll be able to, you know, play it and show you how crap I am at it. But yeah, no, it looks really good. So anyway, Belvedere writes, should I buy WWE 12 so we can get the band back together? For those who don't know, me and Gav used to rock SmackDown vs Raw 2005 and 2006 in the 6-year common room at high school. May have led to some best of 27 series and tag team matches with some other people. May have been a bit crazy, may have been a bit silly, but you know, it was one of the more fun games, and we'd get mad hype and mad salty about it, man. We got salty way back in 06 for SmackDown. You know, looking back at it now, it's not totally a competitive game. You know, maybe I shouldn't really talk too much about this on like the clean down, you know, because that's sort of, you know, fine game stuff. But to be honest, I'll talk about whatever on the clean down now, you know. But it's one of those things, you know. I reckon, yeah, it's a fun game. If you can get it cheap, I'd get it. It's not groundbreakingly awesome. It's not the sort of game that, you know, I'd scream for you to go and get. You know, it's not like All Stars. All Stars, like, Gav didn't like All Stars, so this really doesn't apply to him. But All Stars was a better sort of wrestling game. I found it was a more fun arcadey game, but it had really fun things to do in it. It wasn't, you know, the sort of the same back and forth action that the wrestling games have that get a bit boring because it's always counter and counter and counter and counter and counter and counter and counter. You know, this was more, you know, you had to time your counters. You had to, you could reverse a reversal, so the attacker would always win if it came to a sort of stalemate like that, or you could, you know, hit the block button yourself, and half the time, I think it was about 10 frames in, you got to use your counter, and you could half that to 5 frames if you used the counter blocker, which was a pretty cool touch. You know, there's some cool things in All Stars, but definitely, you know, give W12 a bash. We could probably do some videos on it or something. You know, good to see more people to play it. I mean, I'm going to do some more WWE 12 videos. I've got the Road to WrestleMania sort of going through that. Going to throw up videos for that. Probably going to do more wrestling related stuff as well on the channel as well. I don't know, just to fill that gap. I think give me more content to do. Give me more to talk about. Get myself out there. Get my voice out there. You know, not that I want to become a big YouTube celebrity and no shit like that. But you know, I just want to, you know, get my voice out there. You know, stop these ums and ahs and likes and then, you know, get more confident in front of the camera and on the mic and stuff like that to just, you know, be a better commentator and be a better presenter of, you know, stuff for, you know, versus Scotland, JustJockTV and all you guys, hopefully representing more videos. And I know quite a lot of guys in the community who are looking to do these sort of things, which is awesome. So anyway, what else? Suave Gav writes, can you express your opinions on Daigo's latest statement about Ryu, Kami and Akuma being top tier in AE and about a third of the roster have no potential to be higher in the tier list? I've seen the characters he said are quite high, and you know, it is characters like Kami, Ryu, Seth, you know, the people that are considered top tier right now. He did, however, you know, put characters like Chun-Li in the not potential to be high tier. I don't see that. Chun-Li is a powerful character in Super Street Fighter 4. She can do a lot of damage if you play fundamentally. If you know, stay back, go aim it out, she can give a lot of people trouble, and she's got really good ways of getting in as well. You know, I can maybe see why he'd say that. You know, maybe there's not that much. I can't really say that. There's not many, you know, Chun-Li players playing him. But it's his opinion. You know, Daigo is a smart player. Daigo is considered one of the best players, you know, ever. So you know, really, yeah, you got to factor that in as well. But you know, Gav follows up with, think this will limit character choice both within or out with tournament play. What impact do you think it will have in the game and its loyal fans? To be honest, what impact Daigo has, what Daigo says does have an impact on non-competitive play at least. When Daigo says something, the people that follow it, that mainly just play online, tend to just go with what he says. Like, you know, like in Super, when he played Guile against Justin Wong, it was the Super preview. It was about a week before Super Street Fighter 4 hit, and he played Guile against Justin Wong Rufus, and it went to a double KO, and he said Guile's a strong character in this game. We saw a hell of a lot more Guiles online, especially in the launch of Super. When he started going back to Ryu, we saw a hell of a lot of Ryus online, and when he was playing Yun, well, Yun was top tier as well, so I suppose that kind of takes a bit of the edge of it. But when we saw Yun as well, he was, you know, considered a really powerful character too. So, you know, people played Yun as well. But yeah, no, I don't know. Again, with you know, with Daigo fans at least, you know, it'll impact the game and they'll probably follow them to the letter and play how they play. But to be honest, you know, other players as well, competitive players, they'll stick with what they know. Like they'll take it into account, you know. They'll maybe have a look at the characters more, maybe see them as a threat, but I don't see them changing up or anything. I just see, you know, him throwing it out there gives us a bit of a warning as to who we could be seeing a lot of more online and maybe offline, you know, if guys switched it, but I don't see it being a huge impact. So anyway, yeah, hope that answers your questions, Gav. If not, why so sad? So anyway, Milligano now with, I said DJ wasn't competitive weeks ago, I think it was months ago actually. Daigo is just saying this now. So my first question is, am I smarter than Daigo? Yeah. He doesn't wear a hat, you wear a hat. Not much more to say on that. But he also follows up with some serious questions, including how long do you think it will take before a fighting game gains the same popularity Street Fighter 4 has? So that's a bit of a weird one, because you know, Street Fighter was the game that sort of restarted the boom. Street Fighter 4, you know, it was the game that sort of it got me there, right? Yeah, I'm a filthy 09er. I came along to the scene with Street Fighter 4, so you know, I'm not one of these hardcore guys who can say, it got people in, but you know, it's not good, you know, stuff like that. It's, you know, it's not that. It's like I think it's gonna take a while. It could actually take another dip and then another revival to get a game as popular as Street Fighter 4 was. But you know, I reckon Marvel sits at that sort of popularity. I don't know about Strecken. Other games as well. You know, at launch, games are definitely as popular. I think you know, it's just, I don't know if games will regain that popularity, because that was the one that kicked off the boom. But you know games can, you know, coexist at least alongside it. You know, at tournaments and stuff, it can still be, you know, games that will be played as much like Marvel's played as much, and in other scenes as well. I know across in America, at least in South America, they fucking love Mortal Kombat. So you know, Mortal Kombat is really popular over there. Of course, you know, in China and Hong Kong, Singapore, you know, places like that, King of Fighters is the big game over there. Not so much Street Fighter 4. So really, you know, I suppose it depends where you are and stuff. I mean, to be honest, we're really, you know, we've got our scene, and then everything's really fed from the sort of American side. That's where we get most of our information, most of our intel and all stuff, where Super Street Fighter 4 is the most popular game along with Marvel. So you know, I think it's gonna take, you know, a dip and then a revival to see a game that will be as popular as Street Fighter 4 was. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. Games can come alongside it. You know, there's guys that have played Street Fighter 4 for a while. They've been waiting for their games to come out, and now they're just playing them along happily. Hopefully, we can all get along in the scene and play all these games together. But you know, gotta take it away well. What do you think of the competition in Scotland in relation to the UK as a whole? I reckon we're up there. I reckon, you know, some of our players, you know, I reckon, best way to say it is, our main players, our big players, can definitely hang at tournaments anywhere else in the country, right? And that's no slight on anybody, you know. Like, our best players in all of their games will be able to hang with the best players from London, the best players from Manchester, from Newcastle, you know, the best players from all over the country. They'll be able to hang with them. It's our sort of lower tier players that, you know, I think I don't know, I'm one of them. I'd say I'm not a high tier player in Scotland, but we're sort of like, SVB was a wake up call for me because I got destroyed, you know. So the way I see it is, like, some of us lower down, we've got a lot of leveling up to do, because when you go to events and I get smashed by Breslin, by Milligano, by Big Fool, by Infe, who doesn't even play those games, you know. When I get smashed by the really good players that Scotland has, when I get smashed by Orkankin, when I get smashed by, you know, all those players, you know, it makes me think, you know, and then there's people that I beat, it makes me think, you know, we've got a bit of leveling up to do, and I think that, you know, that's one of Milligano's following questions is, how do you think the community can level up as a whole? It's what, just keep doing what we're doing, really, you know. Like in Glasgow and Edinburgh and Dundee, you know, guys turn out to the casual events and guys play, you know. I reckon, you know, just a bit more integration, just a bit more, you know, let people in on strategies, let people, you know, share intel, let people talk over matches with people, you know, really nurture and let them know how they're doing and how they're playing and stuff. Like, casuals are all good, but some people, like myself, really can have a hard time reflecting on ourselves and thinking what we are doing wrong. So I reckon one thing that the community can do as a whole is let people, know what they're doing wrong in your opinion. Give them another view on how they're playing, and hopefully, people will take that on board and maybe adjust their game or learn from it or stuff. But I reckon it's just a whole. Oh, we just got to, I mean, there is that element of save it for nationals, and to be honest, right, I wouldn't say divulge your strats or anything like that. But I'd say if you can see something fundamentally wrong or something wrong that they could be doing better, let them know. But to be honest, continue as we are. Come to tournaments. Practice, go to the casual sessions, and I reckon we'll get there. We just got to grind it out. And there's no quick fix to this sort of thing, but we've got the good players there, and they can help the lower players. Definitely, look online. Maybe analyse your matches more. Do what I did wrong series, kind of like me. It's not copyrighted, so you can go nuts if you want, but do stuff like that. I know Samurai Drew, he does a lot of videos as well from playing online, talking over them and stuff. So just go with that. Analyse your own videos, see what you're doing wrong and stuff. And get other people to do it for you as well. That's one way I could suggest leveling up. Will Street Fighter Cross Tekken be a tournament game in my opinion? We'll see when it comes out. Gems definitely hampers that, but gems could be balanced. We've still got to wait. I know there are people looking at the gems listings that you get, and not so good. We can play without gems as well, but they seem to be a key part of the game. So I don't see why you wouldn't play with the gems. I think we need to really wait and see how that's going to turn out. I hope it does. Looks like a really fun game. A lot of characters I like to play in there. Sucks that I'm not getting DJ, but you can do. But definitely stuff that I really like. Stuff that I really like in that. I like that it could be an entry level game as well it could be another entry level game for getting more people into the scene, which is always a good thing. But it definitely looks like a fun game at least, and hopefully if it is a fun game and it's not tournament, it's not really a tournament game, people will still play it, and maybe they'll go, I like that. Maybe their Amazon will pop up and go, you like that, I bet you like this, and it'll be download code for Skullgirls, it'll be a Street Fighter 4, it'll be Marvel, it'll be King of Fighters, it'll be something like that. Just something else to let them play. But anyway, and do a secret issue as part of ML3. Why else am I wearing the hat? Of course, a secret issue was part of ML3. I might get a bit better. So just scrolling down here, more questions. Let's see. 2011 was a good year for the fighting game community. This comes from Rusco. So with 2012 imminent and some big releases, where do you see the community going over the next 12 months as a whole, and in particular versus Scotland? Let's see. Well, we've got Street Fighter Cross Tekken, so hopefully that'll bring growth. That'll hopefully grow the community a bit. Get some of the more people some of the more casual fighting game players maybe in there, maybe getting them thinking they're good at the game, getting them into tournaments and stuff. Even if it's not really a tournament over a game, getting them to play other games after having a taste of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Let's see. Soul Calibur, Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Skullgirls as well, games like that. Hopefully bring more variety to the mix, bring more variety to tournaments. Hopefully more content for people to see. Hopefully it brings out more people. Maybe this is the game they're waiting for. Maybe these are some of the games that they're waiting for. Maybe they're better at these sorts of games. Things like that. Maybe it'll just bring more different players to the forefront. I know Brandstar, especially with Soul Calibur, he'd love to get Steve in Soul Calibur 5 and show us all how good that game is. I'm waiting for Soul Calibur 5 as well. I'm really excited for that. I'm also excited for Tekken Tag Tournament 2. I know Ken is as well. Some of our players hopefully getting to shine a bit more. Some of the guys that usually sit just below top 8, sit in top 8 stuff. Maybe guys that would win these tournaments. Give them more chance to shine. I reckon in versus Scotland at least we'll be seeing more Soul Calibur stuff, more Skullgirl stuff, and more Tekken stuff for this. But I think Dead or Alive's coming out as well, so we might see other games as well. What is it? The Virtua Fighter as well, the new Virtua Fighter. But that could be good. Adding all these to the mix, basically what I can see is I think the fighting game community as a whole stay the course, and keep growing, keep getting better, and just throw more games into the mix, and hopefully we'll thrive and stuff. But anyway, right now the camera's saying that the video time's almost up. That's part 1. I'll get part 2 coming up soon.